Good afternoon, everyone, for joining the afternoon session. I hope what are all the things we have discussed in the morning are clear, and I hope at least the basic things of the hands-on session on Python is useful. So we have discussed the basic data types, arithmetic operations, string-related operations, array-related operations using NumPy. It is one of the important concepts in Python. Then we have discussed about how to define a functions and the control statements and all. So remaining parts we can discuss last. We have started with the star pattern display. So this is the first star pattern we have discussed. I hope this is clear. This is simple, and we can just define two for loops. For anything to be displayed in two-dimensional way, the only thing that is possible is we have to define with the two for loops. One is for outer for loop and another one is for inner for loop. And I can ask you how to display this star pattern. The same thing with inverted way. The same thing, for example, if row 5 is given, pattern have to be look like this. The same thing, if row 5 is given, the pattern have to be look like this. That is inverted star pattern. The same thing, the same display, everything. Only thing that changes is in the previous, I can start from 1. Yes, up to the number of rows. Each and every time it should be incremented 1. For each and every row, that number of star have to be displayed. That is why the inner ranges in the for loop is j in range I. To display the is inverted for loop, here I have defined a function name as inverted star pattern, taking the rows as its parameter. For I in range, you can see here, this is the for loop now. This is the for loop now. So what is the change in this for loop? Have anyone noticed? Yes, what is the change in this for loop? Here, things have given. Previously, it is one thing. Three things have been given. So analyze the output. For row 5, first time 5 star have to be print. Second 4, third 3, then 2, then 1. 5 number of rows, but in the reverse order. So the rows have to be started with the 5 and it have to end on 0. When it comes to rows value comes to 0, this for loop should not execute. Each and every time it has to be decremented by 1. First time it have to be started with 5. Next time it should be 4. Next time it should be 3. Likewise, it has to go on. When this value reaches 0, this have to be stopped. This should not enter into this for loop. That is what the condition is representing here. For anything to be displayed in the reverse order, so you have to give this in this way. So what is the starting value? Where it have to be stopped? And each and every time how it have to be, either it have to be decremented or it have to be incremented. In this way, it have to proceed. Remaining everything is same. Remaining everything. So previously, if I value is 1, 1 star will be printed. First time the I value will be 5 because it starts from row and goes in the descending order. So 5 star will be printed. Second time it will be decremented, 4 star will be printed. Third time 3. Next time 2, next time 1. Likewise, it goes on. Only the changes occur in this for loop itself. If we change this particular value, we can get the output in this way. If my for loop is in this way, starting from 1 up to row, each and every time it has to be incremented, then the output should be looked like this. And the different thing, usually we can get a star patterns either in this way or in that way. But most of the cases, the difficulty occurs on displaying the star pattern like this. Please look at this out. So how to display a star pattern like this? The same thing. If the row is given as 5, this should be my output. So analyze how it has displayed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, outer for loops 5 times it has to run. But how many number of stars have to be printed? So pyramid pattern. So first time it is first star located here. Second time in between star is equal and the left and right is looking like here. And this second time 3 stars, third time 5, next time 7, next time 9. Likewise it is displaying how it happens. So what I have to change? Only in that for loop. Nothing there. Nothing change. Only in that for loop I have to specify. So look at here. First time the star is printed, how many spaces it has left? 1, 2, 3, 4. So if the value is 5, the first star is printed 4 spaces away. The second row displays 3 spaces away. Third one 2 space away. Fourth one 1 space away. Fifth one from the starting it has to display. So I have to concentrate on how many number of spaces have to be left in the beginning. How many number of spaces left in the beginning? That is also an important case here. So I have to concentrate on number of spaces to be left before displaying the star pattern. Same function, only one for loop I have used, no two for loop. So outer for loop it is okay. What is this outer for loop is? It has to start from 1, it have to end with 5 rows. So 5 rows it has to come, each and every time I value have to be incremented 1. That's all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is for this particular for loop is. So inside the print statement I have given specified things. What is the first thing and what is the second thing is? The first thing represents how many number of spaces. The first thing, empty double quotes star row minus I, which is nothing but this particular thing is nothing but how many number of spaces have to be left. First I have to concentrate on space, then only I have to display star. So look at here, I'm not displaying the first star in the first place itself. So I have left some number of spaces initially. So how many number of spaces? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 spaces left before and then only the first star has been displayed. So the first thing in the print statement, two things have been combined. One is for space, this second part. After this plus part, the second thing is for displaying the stars. This is for displaying the stars. What is the first thing? So the empty double quotes is space. How many number of space? Star. This is nothing but multiplication. The space have to be multiplied this number of times. So that number of spaces will be left. Row minus I. First time row will be taken as 5. So 5 minus 1, 4 spaces have to be left. Then only star have to be displayed. So this is for 4. So this will decide 4 spaces for first time. Next is within the double quote star is there. So star have to be displayed. How many number of stars? So multiplication. The second star, don't confuse with the second star. This is multiplication sign. So this is multiplication sign. Space multiplied this number of times, star multiplied this number of times. That's all. Very simple. Space multiplied this number of times. So first, before displaying anything, space have to be defined. This is for only pyramid pattern. Previous things and all, no concentration about spaces because the stars are displayed from initial place itself. You can see all the stars are starting from the starting place itself. So in this case also, all the stars are starting from the initial place itself. So there is no restriction on how many spaces to be left. The spaces to be left is decide only on this particular pattern. That is in this pyramid pattern. So first I have concentrate on how to be displayed, how this particular space have to be displayed this number of times. Then it will display, start displaying star. So first time, what is the I value? That is I value is 1. So 2 star 1, that is multiplication. 2 into 1 minus 1, 1. So first time it will display 1 star. Okay. So it will goes to the next line. So second time the for loops will run. So what happens? What happens? So row value. So it will row value will be incremented. So yes. So here I value will takes as 2. So 5 minus 2, 3 spaces have to be left. Okay. For second line, 3 spaces have to be left. So how many stars will be print on second line? 2 into 2 minus 1. 4 minus 1, 3 stars will be displayed. For third time, 5 minus 3, I will take the value as 3. 5 minus 3, 2 spaces have to be left for third line. So for this star, 2 into 2 minus, 3 minus 1, 6 minus 1, 5. So 5 stars will be displayed. Likewise, this goes on until the number of rows, that is number of I value will reach as 5. So at the last iteration, row is also 5, I is also 5. So 5 minus 5, no space. So for the last line, no space. How many number of stars? 2 into 5, 10 minus 1, 9 stars will be displayed. So this is the simple case. So compared to that of the previous pyramid star pattern, the pyramid pattern looks somewhat difficult. So the only thing that requires is you have to be calculating how many number of spaces and how many number of stars have to be displayed. That's all. If this is clear, then we can do any star pattern. Likewise, if the inverted pyramid pattern is given, the same thing. For the first time, row has to start from 5. If the same star pattern, if it is inverse, how I have to do? Instead of this for loop 1 to 5, I have to start from 5, 0, minus 1. That's all. If you reverse these values, you will get inverted star pattern. Same as like that of before. The row value starts from 1. So row value start from 1 row plus 1, I'll get in this way. If I have given 0 rows, 0 minus 1, I'll get this inverted pattern. Likewise, if you just change this for loop 0 rows, 0 minus 1, you will get inverted pyramid patterns. So this is the star and pyramid patterns in Python. Okay, so I can go to the next thing. So what is the program to display that prints the prime number less than 20? I'll give you this code. While displaying, the indentation space will not be followed. So you please follow the indentation space. After function name, one indentation. After this for loop, one indentation. So because while I paste this particular code in a chat window, indentation will not be preserved. You have to careful. You have to take care of Yeah, sorry for the interruption. So I'll paste the code in the chat window. So yes, here it seems the indentation space is preserving. While copy and pasting in your Colab interface, you just look on your the indentation space, because as we said in the morning, after the function name one indentation, after this for loop starts one indentation, and this function name and the controls have to be given with this semi, that is colon symbol. That is important. So next is the task that is given to me. Yes. So displaying a pattern like this. How to display the prime numbers less than 20? Yes. What is the prime number? How to display the prime numbers less than 20? What does the prime number represent? The number which is divisible by 1 and itself, that number alone will be considered as a prime number. If it is divisible by any other number other than these, we cannot say that number is a prime number. So, how I can take a prime number in the range of, that is 1 to 20, that is less than 20, or I can say that it is less than 20. How to check this one? So, you have to do this one using function. The constraint that is given is I have to check whether this is a prime number or not using the function. So, I have defined two function. One function here to display the prime numbers. So this function will check particular. This is of my choice. I can write the constraints in a single function itself. But for my understanding, I have used two function to display this one. You can see here there are two functions. The first function is for checking a number is prime or not. The second function is to display, it will take the number ranges. One, we can know that it is neither prime. So we can leave that one and we can take the range from 2 to 20. So the second function will iterate the for loop from 2 to 20 and it is taking each and every number checking is prime. I'll explain this function first. So this is the function keyword. This is my function prime less than 20. This is my function name. Hope it is somewhat lengthier. So it is of your choice. This is not taking any number parameters or anything to be taken as an input here. So empty function brackets. Since this is the function, I have to start with colon, then one indentation space. So in this indentation space, so I have used the for loop for variable in range. For variable in range. This is the syntax. So this range can take what is the starting and ending range you are going to consider. So 2 comma 20. If you have not specified anything each and every time the for loop runs, it will get incremented 1. It will get incremented by 1. So if is prime of num, what this line denotes is that what this line denotes. So here you look at this line for num in range. This num is the user defined variable. This num will take the values ranges from 2 to 20. First time it will be assigned with 2. Second time it will be assigned with 3. Third time it will be assigned with 4. Likewise, it goes on up to 20. So if is prime of num, this is prime is nothing but a function name. This is an another function that is written by me on the step. Each and every time this number is assigned and it is checking is this prime or not. So on this line it will go into this function. This prime is nothing but I have written one function here that is taking one number as a parameter. So it is checking. If the number is less than 2, then I have to return false. So that is not considered for a prime number. So it have to be started from 2 and it have to be ended with 20. Here, if the number is less than 2, if the number is less than 2, I have to return false. Otherwise, if the number is in the range of 2 to, so for how to check a number is prime or not? So a number which is divisible by 1 and itself, right? So it should not be divisible by any number between from 2 to that number minus 1. For example, if I am going to check 5 is a prime or not, it should be divisible by 5, it should be divisible by 1. That's all. There is no divisible factor available for 5 from the range 2, 3, 4. That is starting from 2, that number minus 1. So that is the default thing we know already. You can check that condition. Instead of checking the divisible factors up to n minus 1, there is one shorter way available. What is that shorter way is that don't check up to n minus 1. It is you are wasting your time. Instead, start from 2 and square root of that number plus 1. Up to that you can check. For example, if I want to check 16 is prime number or not, I should be checking from a divisible factor available from 2 to 15. What they are saying is, why you are iterating up to 15? No need to go for n minus 1. Instead you are going for n minus 1. What you can do is square root of 16 is 4. 4 plus 1, 5. So check whether there is any divisible factors available from 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all. If any factors available in this case, then you can return false. If there is no factors available in this case, I can return true. So this is the easiest and simplest way for the execution of prime number. So you can just keep this in your mind or please note down this is the simple condition for checking a number is prime or not. So here what I have done in the second thing is, so why I have said int is because square root of a particular number plus 1 sometimes will written in a decimal way. So don't need to take the decimal number and check whether it is prime or not. So consider that the integer part alone. To make this one, you can use this int of. Int of is nothing but convert the decimal, because when we are finding square root of any number, we will get the answer in a decimal part. So don't consider with the decimal part. You just proceed on with the integer part, that is whole number alone. So here int of that particular thing. If this number mod I equal to 0, what is the meaning of this line? If this number is divisible by any I between 2 to that particular range, then that is not a prime number. I can just return false here. This for loop iterates over all the range, but I have not written false means definitely that will be true. So I have to return true. If it is true means if it returns true, that number is a prime number. If it returns false, that number is not a prime number. If any of this condition is true, it will return false. So if false is received here, if the function call of this number false is received, that number will not be displayed. So here in this case, it is nothing but a function call and the checking condition is written in a one particular step. You have to understand here what I have did here is if function call of number. Why the function call is given inside a if statement? If the function call returns true, if will be true. The function call return false, the if will be false. To make this understandable, instead of assigning the function call to one variable and checking whether that variable is true or not, directly I'm checking the function call with that number. If it returns true, this if loop will be true and it will display that number. Here, if it returns false, this loop will not execute, so this number display will not execute. So what will be the prime numbers less than 20? These are all my answers. If I just execute this code, these are all my numbers. These are all my prime numbers. First function and second function is given. So you can combine these two functions and write in the simple step itself. That is of your choice. So if you want, you can just check with the prime numbers concept. The next one is up to identify the factorial of a number. So for any hands-on, the basic manipulations, functions that are all, so identifying prime numbers, displaying the star patterns, finding the factorial of a number, finding the Fibonacci series of a number, in advanced cases, Amstrad number, etc. and are all. The next is finding a factorial. So far, we have discussed everything based on functions. So here you are just experiencing this concepts as well as you are just experiencing along with the functions. How to write the particular concept using functions. Next comes here a recursion. Can anyone answer what is recursion? Is recursion, it is a function which calls itself repeatedly until a certain ending criterion is met. That is called a recursive function. The function that has to call itself repeatedly. Instead of iterating over for loop, while loop, you have to call the same function again and again until a specific condition is met. This is called the recursion. So you can use the same concept of anything By using recursion and without using recursion. If you are using recursion, what will be the answer? If you are not using the recursion, what will be the answer? The same thing. The answer will be same. Only thing that differs is one is using recursion, another one is not using recursion. So how to define a factorial of a number? Hope everyone is know what is the factorial of a number. If a number 5 is given, so its factorial is 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. That's all, 120. What is factorial of a 4? 1 into 2 into 3 into 4. What is factorial of 3? 1 into 2 into 3. Likewise, you have to calculate and you have to display it. So 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5 is 120. This is the factorial. Okay, this is very simple. If I want to do a program for this without using recursion, how will you do? Give me answer for doing the factorial without using recursion. That is, as we have discussed, the normal programs that we have discussed so far. The normal program that we have discussed so far. So what will be the answer? We have to start from the for loop. We have to iterate over the for loop. What may be the condition? For I in range of 1 comma n plus 1. Each and every time it have to be incremented. So f is equal to f star I. That's all. It will gives me the answer of recursion. Sorry, factorial. How to do this in recursion? So recursion is nothing but instead of doing the calculations, you have to do a function call to itself until a specific condition is met. So I'll explain. This is the factorial functions. So you can see this is the function I have written. The function name is factorial. This is my own name and it is taking n as its input variable. So if I give 5, that 5 will be passed to this function. If I have given 3, that 3 will be passed to this function. So this is the function called def is a keyword factorial of n. So in the next line, if the n value is 0 or is a keyword, so what is the meaning of this particular if condition statement? This is the base case. Until this case is met, your otherwise your function have to call itself repeatedly. If you are using recursion, you have to specify at least one base case. That is important. So here that is a termination condition. Otherwise, the function will call itself repeatedly. At one point, it have to stop. What is the stopping place? What is the stopping point? That is this if condition. If the n value reaches 0 factorial is also 1. 1 factorial is also 1. So I can stop with either 0 or I can stop with either 1. If the n value is 0 or the n value is 1, it have to return 1 because the 0 factorial is 1, 1 factorial is also 1. So it have to return 1. Otherwise, if this is not the case, for example, I have given n value as 5. This condition is not true. Or is a keyword, either one of this is true. If I have given and here, both the conditions have to true. So that's why R has been specified. So in the else part, it has calculated the factorial such as n star fact of n minus 1. It is not calculating the answer in the else part. If you have given 5 for this one, it is calculating 5 star fact of n minus 1 fact of 4. So first time the call goes like this. So what is the call? How the call goes like this? So first time, so for example, let me take a small n value as 3. So n is passed as 3. This condition is not true. It will come here. It will return 3 star fact of 2. What again it will do? For this fact of 2, again the function will be called. What happens on this for fact of 2? Okay, for this fact of 2, again the function have to be called. N will be passed as 2. It will come here. So this will be replaced as 2 star fact of 1. So here for this fact of 1, again the function will be called, passing the n value as 1. Now it will check whether the n is 0 or n is 1. Yes, n is 1. So it will return 1. So in this place, in this function call place, it will replace the value as 1. So this will be computed and it will return the answer as 3 star 2 star 1, and it will be stored in this result value. And this result value is displayed. The factorial of 5 is something that is be displayed in this way. What you can understand from this recursive function? This can be written with a simple for loop as in previous case, like this. For I in range 1 comma n plus 1, f is equal to f star I, return f. That also will give the same answer. But the question is how to perform using recursion. Recursion is nothing but you have to make a function to call itself repeatedly until a specific condition is met. This is the base condition. For any factorial program, you have to specify the base case or the termination case. You have to specify the base case or the terminations case. Until the particular case is satisfied, you have to call the function again and again. So if this is the case, it has to return 1, else it is n star fact of n minus 1. So for this, you will get the answer. I'll give you this one. You please try this one, factorial. If the indentation is not resolved, please give one indentation space after this function and one indentation after its if statement, one indentation after this else statement. Likewise, the indentation have to be specified because in this Python code, the very important concept is we do not have brackets for defining the extremes. Only thing that is available is only that indentation space. If you have given unnecessary indentation space, that also will produce an error. So this is the code of factorial. I hope this is clear for every one of you. So hope up to this point it is clear. Yes. So you can look at this code in the same recursion. So we are having another example, recursive function to add two positive numbers. How this has been happened? For example, if the number is 5, 3, morning itself we have discussed. I am asking the answer is 8. Okay. 5 plus 3, 8. Num equal to 5, num2 equal to 3. So print num1 plus num2. So it will be 8. That's all. Why the recursive function is necessary here? I should not use the normal plus operator to add this one. Instead, what I can do? Instead, I have to use a recursive function. What is recursive function? The function that has to call itself repeatedly. Okay. How to add these two numbers using recursion? This is a simple step. 5 plus 3, 8. How to do this in recursion? So look at this one. So I have written a function, recursive function. So this is add recursive is my function name. It is taking two numbers as a parameter because in previous case, if n is given 5, this shall be output. So one parameter is enough. So in this case, if 5 and 3, two numbers are given, it have to return the result as 8. So two parameters here, A and B. DEF add recursive A comma B. Okay. What is the simple concept behind addition of two numbers using recursion is that you can do in this way. So increment A, decrement B. So if B 5 and 3 is given, right? 5 plus 3 is given. So how I have to perform this? I have to decrement B and I have to add A. This have to be repeated again and again. How, ma'am? For example, Second time it should be changed as 6 plus 2. One decrement from B, add that to A. Okay. So next time, one decrement from this B and add to A. Okay. Next time, 8 plus 0. So when B reaches 0, I have to stop this one and I have to return what is A. That will be the answer. This is the simple case. So recursion is nothing but you can either decrement from A or add it to B, or decrement from B or add it to A. That is of your choice. There is no restriction. I have to decrement from B and I have to add it to A. Just of your choice. The reverse is also be possible. Decrement from A added to B. Next time it will be 4 plus 4. Next time it will be 3 plus 5. Next time it will be 2 plus 6. Likewise, it goes on. That is also be possible. So if you are doing the addition in a recursion, decrement from any one number added to that another number until a specific condition is met. What is the base condition? I have to give the base condition. Otherwise, the function will repeatedly call itself going into the loop without stopping. So here the condition is if B reaches 0, I have to return the value of A because the A is having the answer. Otherwise, I have to, if this is the base, otherwise I have to decrement 1 from A and increment to B. This have to be repeated again and again until this one is met and it will return A. That A will contains the answer and I have to display the A answer. This is the addition of two numbers using recursion. You please be clear that if anything is asked just with the function, you can proceed with your own way. Using a normal for loop or while loop, iterate over that for loop or while loop and display something. But if a specific thing is asked using recursion, then this would be the condition. Always keep in mind that recursion is nothing but a function. There should be a function call within another function call. The function have to repeatedly call again and again. When it will be stopped, a base condition should be there. This is the base condition. So here also we can see the add recursive function will call itself again and again. This is add recursive. This function will call itself. Within the function, it will call itself again. Until what? Until this base condition is satisfied. If this is the case, that is called the recursive function. Normally, any concepts can be written using the recursion. Only thing is you have to define what is the base criteria, where it have to be stopped, and the function called to itself. That's all. If you are clear with the two things, you can add the recursive function. So I'll give the answer for this also. So please try this one also. I hope everyone is following. So please try side by side in your Colab. I'll give you 2 minutes for going through the both the programs. So if you have completed how to do the multiplication of two numbers using recursion, please anyone try. This is addition of two numbers using recursion. If I have asked you, can you please give me the code for multiplication of two numbers using recursion? What is the base condition and what will be the answer? So I'll show you what is the multiplication of two positive numbers using recursion. Yes, very simple. Can you understand this code? Here also the base criteria is if B is 0, I have to return 0. That is if any the number, if the first number or the second number, anything is 0, it will return 0. Otherwise, I have to add that number of times. If 5, 3, these are all the two numbers given, my answer should be 15. What it actually means is that this is the actual meaning of multiplication. So 5 into 3 is nothing but adding 5 to itself this number of times. That's all. If 5, 2 is given, adding 5 two times. That's all. So keeping this in mind, I can write the recursive function. In simple, if the question is multiply two positive numbers, that's all. I can simply write A into B and I can display the answer A into B. But here the question given for me is do this when recursively. So I have to write a base condition. If this is 0, 5 0, then answer should be 0. That is what the base condition is. So DEF function keyword, this is my function. Multiply recursive is my function. It will take the two parameters A and B. So in this case, A is 5 and B is 3. So 5 and 3 will be taken. If the B value is 0, it have to return 0. That is, if the B is 0, it have to return 0. And if the A is something, some 5 and 3, I have to do this one. A plus multiply recursive of A comma B minus 1. So what happens on this time? First time 5 plus function call of 5 comma B minus 1 is 2. So this function of 5 comma 2, what happens? 5 plus, again this will be replaced as 5 plus function call of 5 comma 1. So again it have to be called the same function, should has to be replaced as 5 plus five comma 0. If it is 0, if the B is 0, it will return 0 here. So 0 will be written here. So the final answer will be 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 0. So answer will be 14. Likewise, this will stop. So this is the simple multiplication of two numbers using recursion. So you have to take A, add that number of times, add B number of times, you will get your answer. So here you have to define the base case as if the B value is 0, this will return 0. Otherwise, it have to call the function again. Since it is a recursion, you can see here the function calling itself repeatedly here in this place. The function calling repeatedly until with this two parameter. To the second time, B will be one decremented. So A one time added, so B will be one decremented. This will call again and again for doing the recursive functions on multiplications of two numbers. Take with this one. The next one is recursive function to find the GCD of two positive numbers. So GCD, we have to, we can very well know about what is GCD. It is the greatest common divisors of two numbers. If you are given two numbers A comma 0, then if the second number is 0, A will be returned. Otherwise, it have to again call the same thing B comma A mod B. So this is like factorial. This is also a important formula basic concepts we have to know. For example, whatever may be the case, if it is factorial, n star factor of n minus 1. That always have to be in your mind. For a good programmer, these basic conditions for Fibonacci, fib of n minus 1 plus n minus 2. So if it is a factorial, n star fact of n minus 1. If it is an addition, if it is a multiplication, what should be the case? Likewise, you have to be very well clear about the base condition. If it is GCD, the condition is b comma a mod b, recursive function. That is recursive function. It is calling b comma a mod b. If b is not 0, if you are passing a and b, if b is not 0, then you have to again take that one as b comma a mod b. Again the condition have to call until the b value returns 0. If b is 0, you have to return a, that is the greatest common divisor. The greatest common divisor of these two numbers is 48, 18 is 6. So you can trace out this one. So first time the b is not 0. So here it will comes here 18 comma 48 mod 18. That is remainder have to be taken. So 48 mod 18 you have to take the remainder. So it will be taken as 4. So 18 comma 4. Next time 4 comma 18 mod 4 it is 2. So likewise it goes on and the condition continues until your p value becomes 0. Whenever your b value becomes 0 in this case, that is the base condition, and upon this base condition, your a value will be returned. Upon this base condition, your a value will be written and it will be displayed your answer as below. So this is the greatest common divisor. So far we have discussed using recursion, factorial, addition, subtraction, addition, multiplication, this recursive function for GCD, everything are simple. Only thing is at that certain point of time you have to remember that formula. Or we cannot say that one as a formula, that is a logic. So if it is b comma a mod b, a plus a comma b minus 1, like that, that simple point you have to remember. That's all. Everything is very simple. You can execute that. I'll give you 2 minutes time. You can execute that GCD. Just go through all this GCD and multiplication and addition and the factorial for 2 minutes. Next, I can go with the next program. I hope up to this point is clear for everyone. So I can move to the next concept of familiarization of Python with basic libraries. NumPy we have discussed morning itself, very simple. That we have discussed already. Creating list, one-dimensional array, np dot append, np dot delete, np dot array. That is array creation, array append, array delete using index that we have discussed in the morning itself. Another basic libraries of Python are sklearn, pandas, and matplotlib. What is sklearn? So before that, I can explain you what is pandas. It is one of the important library in Python. What is the main purpose of this library? Having this library is to creating a data frame. What is data frame? The data frame is nothing but it is an Excel file, a two-dimensional or a multi-dimensional data values. Didn't understand. See this output. So this output contains name as one column, age as another column. The first one is index value. That is index or serial number I can say. So 0, 1 likewise the index value starts. So this is name and age. If you want to perform any data manipulation with this two-dimensional values, this two-dimensional array values, or large number of values that is present in Excel. So here for example, I'm having only name and age. So in addition to this, I may have a name, age, address, email, mobile number for all the 50 faculties of your college. Yes, that can be taken and that can be processed and that can be manipulated using this pandas library. If I am doing anything with a small number of two-dimensional arrays or one-dimensional array like a matrix, addition along x-axis and deletion along a column axis, that is called numpy. If you are going with a larger amount of data in real time, then this pandas library will plays a major role. So if you want to create a data frame, or otherwise I can call it as a data set. So if you want to create anything like this, then you can use this pandas library. Same as import numpy as np, here you can use import pandas as pd. Import pandas, it is a library and the library of this thing to be stored with a variable as pd. Import pandas as pd. So data equal to, so I have assigned one thing with this data. This is my own assignment. You can look at here. I have given this way and I have called a data frame function and it is displaying in this way. So what is the value I have assigned? Name colon value. Name colon value. So each and everything, whatever the thing that is given inside this curly braces, I can call it as dictionary format. Whatever the thing I can give that inside this curly bracket. So the curly bracket takes anything in the format of curly bracket is nothing but it is a dictionary. You have to specify the dictionary in a format of key colon value. So here the name is a key, okay, colon, okay, value. If it is a single value, you can directly specify that name alone. If this key takes more number of values, you can give that values as comma separated. I hope you understand. So here in this data frame concept, if you are using a key colon value, if the key and the value is a single value, you can give that directly. If the single value is not there, sequence of values are there that have to be specified as comma separated. So this is one key colon, this is comma separated values. Age is an another key, comma, age is an another key, colon, the values that will be taken as 25, comma 30. Always keep in mind that in Python programming concept, if you are specifying a single value, directly you can specify. If you are going to specify more than one value for anything, you have to give that inside the square bracket. That is important. If you are going to specify more than one value for any particular thing, then you have to give that inside the square bracket. For name, two values, these two values have to be taken. For age, these two values have to be taken. In this way, it have to be specified. Okay. Next is df is my variable name. This pd is nothing but pandas library name. Dot data frame is a built-in function in pandas. What it is? It is a built-in function in pandas. So what happens is this will take this data as an input. I am just assigning dictionary format. This as taken as an input. I hope you have studied this dictionary format in previous theory sections and all. This is taking this dictionary format and it will be creating a two-dimensional way like this. Name, age, So first name, first age, second age. It have to be associated in this way, and it will give you the output in such a case. So here in this df dot head is a function. This head is nothing but it is going to display the top 10 rows. Here we are having only two things. So all the two things are displayed. Consider I am assigning 10 values for name, 10 values for age. So 10 names, 10 age will be there. If you want to display all the thing, printf df will be. You can use printf print df. If you want to display only the top five values of your data frame, you can use this head function. Head is also a predefined function. Head is also a predefined function. What this head will do is it will take a list of values and it will give you the top most five values from your data frame that you have created. But here the data frame I have created is with only two values. So all the two values are displayed. This is the answer. So the currently purpose of pandas, I hope it is clear. So I'll give you the simple code. You can just try very simple. No indentation, nothing. If only the function and the control statement arises, we have to go for indentation. Otherwise, it is very simple. Let's look on this. Okay, hope you are clear. Next is one of the important library. In addition to this pandas, numpy, there is another library that is a basic library. These are all the basic Python libraries: sklearn, numpy, pandas, matplotlib. Numpy discussed, pandas discussed. What is sklearn is mainly this is used for doing a machine learning projects and all. So no need to worry about this particular library now. So when you are just studying about machine learning or deep learning, n number of algorithms are predefined and it is written inside this sklearn. That is what the power of Python. If you want to write those algorithms, for example, linear regression, this is one of the important concepts in machine learning. There is an algorithm that will be plotting x and y and how it will be matched. So based on the linear line concept, for that algorithm to execute, no need to write the code from the scratch. Instead, what you can do, there is a library that is available predefinedly. The name of that library is sklearn or scikit-learn. Sklearn or scikit-learn is the library. You can use that library. Each and every algorithm, any number of algorithms are present in machine learning. You can just surf over the net. Give me some sample algorithms for machine learning. You can list out how many number of algorithms are there. You can list out, give me five sample supervised machine learning algorithm. Give me five unsupervised learning algorithm. Likewise, you can check. All those algorithms are predefinedly written inside this library. If you want to use that algorithm, just give the function name. That's all. It will execute it. For example, linear regression is one of the important concept in machine learning. If I want to execute that one, what is the purpose of this is means that is nothing but, so you want to calculate the coefficient and the intercept and you can plot. So plotting I'll explain later. So in order to do this one, in order to do this calculations of coefficient and intercept, no need to do the calculation. You can already know what's the formula for slope. Slope is equal to mx plus c. So m is a slope and x is the intercept. So in order to calculate that one, no need to go with any calculations manually. Instead, this sklearn from sklearn linear model import linear regression. This is an algorithm present in this sklearn library. You just import that one. Numpy is for my array purposes I have imported. So I have created one array, that is x value will be taken 1 2 3, and the y value as 2 4 6. So this is a two-dimensional array. So only one column, only one column and three rows. 1 2 3. These are all the rows. So y value will be taken as 2 4 6. So model equal to linear regression dot fix of x comma y. That's all. You have to fit into that model. Just to display model dot coefficient, it will give you coefficient. Just display model dot intercept, you will able to identify the intercept. So you can ask me, there is no calculation doing for computing this coefficient and intercept? Yes, no need to do that one. Why? Because you are using this predefined model. Where this predefined model comes from? This model is nothing but it is an algorithm present in this sklearn library. So I have used that model. I have to fit into that model and I am displaying this coefficient and intercept. My values are displaying. Likewise, this sklearn is particularly meant for machine learning algorithm. If you want to explore any kind of machine learning algorithms, then you can go with this sklearn library. And comes here the important concepts of visualization. Okay, I can do any calculations. There are a number of libraries available for performing calculations. So what is the importance of using and visualization? Visualization, it is nothing but that the thing you are just visualize like this, using a graphical representation. A graphical representation formats and all. How to explore this kind of thing, that is a graphical representation, things like graphical format of line chart, scatter plot, or bar chart. In this way, how this can be defined? So you can look at here. First and the foremost important in matplotlib is line plot. So the matplotlib, what is this? It is a plotting library. Okay, what is the purpose of this library? It will create a static, interactive, and animated visualizations also. You can do all those kinds of visualization using this Matplotlib library. The first thing I have just visualized here, it is line plot. So what is line plot? So line plot is, I want a graph like this. It should contain, look at here, clearly analyze this graph. Please, everyone, look at this graph and what are all the things that is necessary for visualization. You just understand. So here you look at x-axis and the range of x-axis value, y-axis, range of y-axis value, and a title is given. Basic plot is a title, and this is the legend. What does this graph represents? This blue line represents what? This we can call it as a legend. Legend, that is sample plot. This is a legend. So what you have? There is a label for x-axis. There is a label for y-axis. This x-axis number and y-axis number will be automatically defined and it will be displayed. And there is a title for this graph. The title of this graph is basic plot. This is the title of this graph. And there is a legend present for this graph. This is the legend. So you have to keep this in mind. So you have to display a graphical format like this. You have to give the sequences of x and y axis value. For example, if x is 1, y is 10. If x is 1.5, y is some 14, 15. Likewise, you have to define the corresponding x and y values. Then you have to call this library. Then this picture will come. Only this 4 line of code. I have defined the x values. X values are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For each and every x value, there should be a corresponding y value. You will get a mistake if you are given 5 x values and 7 y value. That is not the case. Here, what is this x and y? For this particular x, what is y? 1 comma 10, 2 comma 20, 3 comma 25, 4 comma 30, 5 comma 35. This is the plotting point. So in order to do this plotting, I have to import a library. What is this library name? Import matplotlib.pyplot. So what is this pyplot is? Pyplot is an another library which is present inside this matplotlib. Matplotlib is a library mainly used for visualization, inside which there is an another library present. That name of that library is Python plotting or pyplot. Simply we can call it as pyplot. So I can import this library stored in a variable plt, because instead of every time I have to use matplotlib.pyplot, I can use the smaller variable plt.plt. If this plt is not given in this place, I have to use matplotlib.pyplot.plot, matplotlib.pyplot.xlabel. Likewise, I have to entirely specify this library name. That feels it is difficult, so this can be stored with the smaller variable as plt. So the first time I have defined an x value corresponding y value. Okay, one thing completed. Plt dot plot, this is going to create a graph. Plt dot plot is nothing but it is going to create a line plot. Okay, take x and y. Okay, label equal to sample plot. For this graph, the label I have given, the name is sample plot. I have just specified only the name. That's all. Okay. Plt dot x label. X label is a function that defines what have to be displayed in this x axis. X axis name is x hyphen axis. Yes, it is displaying here. Plt.y label. What is the label I want to specify for y axis? Y hyphen axis. This is the label I want to specify for y axis. Y axis is y hyphen axis. Yes, that is displayed. Plt.title. What is the title I want to give for this graph? Within the single quotes, I have given basic plot. Yes, this graph has taken the title as basic plot. Plt.legend. What this will do is that, so this will take this label as an input and it will create a legend and it will be displaying it in the default position. You can see, just I have called plt.legend. I have not specified in what place the legend have to be displayed. You might have been seen in some of the graph, it will be in right corner. In some of the graph, it will be in bottom right corner, bottom left corner. Yes, that also will be manually specified here. Where have to show plt.legend top right corner, bottom right corner. Likewise, also we can specify. If you have not specified any particular thing, that will be displayed in the default position. The default position is top left corner. What it will be shown, the legend is nothing but user might have been given this label, take this label and create a legend like this and displayed in this default position. If you have forgot to specify this label, you won't get this legend. The legend will come. If you just call this function, legend will come, but no characters will be displayed. Just this box and this blue line alone will come. No, this characters will be displayed. So this is the sample plot. So finally, I have to call this show function. This is important. So far, I have up to this, I have specified what are all the things that is required for me. After specifying this, I have to call the show function. Only when if you are calling the show function, your graph will be displayed. Until otherwise, your graph will not be displayed. This is the simple line plotting library. Please execute this one. This is very simple. No indentation space under all. Very simple. So first you have to analyze what are all the important things I have to specify. X value, corresponding Y value, X, Y, label name, x-axis name, y-axis name, title, legend. Finally, it'll have graph have to be displayed. That's all. Okay, this is line plot. What are all the other plottings that is available in addition to this? Scatter plot. What is scatter plot? Look at the output. This is scatter plot. Instead of having the lines, there is a points that is scattered around. This is the scatter plot. For example, if x is 12, y is 20, yes, 12 comma 20, this dot. 11 comma 30, this dot. Yes, 9 comma 85, this dot. Likewise, for the positions you have specified, a scatter plot will be arised. So I have not given x-axis label, y-axis label, no legend, no title. Only plotting. That's all. You can analyze. There is no x-axis. There is no y-axis. There is no title. There is no legend. If it needed, what I can do? This is the graph coding. Very simple coding. What is the coding is that? Importing matplotlib, importing numpy, first x values, y values, plt dot scatter. This will give you scatter plot. Plt dot plot. This will give you line. This will give you the line plot. Line like graph. Instead here, if you have given scatter, yes, the same thing will be displayed, but it in a scatter point of view. You just try. Instead of plt dot plot, plt dot scatter. For the same thing, this line will be changed to scatter. Here I have not given x-axis, y-axis, title, legend. Only x, y, scatter, show. That's all. So my output looks like this. You can add these things also. You can go with Colab. If it is still running, you can see the symbol of running. Sometimes it will be taking sometimes. Once it is done, you'll get this one. See here, I'll get a line chart like this. Instead here, I can change that to scatter. See here, the same thing. Instead of plot, I'm just changing here scatter. Meaning all are same. Basic plot, x-axis, y-axis. Instead of line, it's displaying a scatter point. That's all. So in this example, I have not explicitly specified what should be my x-axis, what should be my y-axis, what should be my title and all. So no, nothing is displayed. If you have left, yes, you will get your output, but not in a completed way. And the third one is bar chart. This is also important. What is this bar chart? You can see for any computations for your projects and all, most of the time you have to specify your results in this bar graph like format. So in this bar graph like format, the same thing. You have to specify what is your x, you have to specify what is your y. Title, x-axis, y-axis, legend, everything is common for all the kinds of plot. It will not vary. So here, those two import functions, x value is defined. X value is A, B, C, D. Here, in previous cases and are all x values are numericals. So look at here, x values are numerical 5, 7, 8, 7, and y is also numerical. In previous case also x is numerical, y is numerical. But sometimes we can get x-axis like this. So assume a scenario for 5 students display their score they have secured in mathematics subjects using bar chart. This is the scenario given to you. How will you complete this one? X-axis is a student name. Y-axis is the marks secured by them in their subjects. So like this you have to do. So here the x-axis should not always be a numerical. Sometimes it may be categorical. That is, a categorical format is nothing but a string-like format. So here the x-axis is A, B, C, D. And the y-axis values are 3, 8, 1, 10. For this A3, B8, C1, D10. So you can ask me, I have not specified the range, madam. How it will be taken? It is predefinedly taken based on your ranges. So it starts from 1 and it will end with a 10. So it will be implicitly assigned 0 to 468. If you want to take the limit value in such a case of 0, 5, 10, that also you can give explicitly. Yes, that is also be possible. So instead of scatter, instead of plot, here bar. That's all. This will give you bar chart. What I have to do if I want this x-axis name, y-axis name, title name? Yes, if I want x-axis name, if I want y-axis name, if I want title name, I have to include this plt.x label, plt.y label, and plt.title, plt.legend, plt.show. Show will definitely be there. Then only I can able to view this graph. If you have not given the show, just look at here. Sometimes it will be run, but you will get a warning. You will get a warning like this. In order to avoid this warning and all, yes. If you give this one, you will get. And the last one is pie chart. So for any analysis and statistics, this bar formatting is required. Scatter and line formatting is required. What is this pie chart? So if you want to analyze in your subject how many number of students have secured greater than 50 percentage. So how many number of students have answered the first question? How many number of students have answered the second question? How many number of students have answered the third question and all? So here plt dot py, that's all. This is the function that is used to give the pie chart. So you can see here there is no x-axis because this is the pie chart. I cannot specify x-axis like 1, 2, 3 and are all. The only thing is I have to specify the range. So for each and every colors for of this, each and every y value, I can specify the texting. I can specify what it represent also. That is also be possible. That is an extra thing. These are all basic things. So if you want to explore further, for example, if I want something to be displayed over in this place, at each and every bar, I want something to be displayed. I want to put an arrow of which is the highest bar chart that is present. Yes, that is also be possible. That is an some more extra things you have to be concentrated on. So here, instead of plot, instead of line, instead of bar, if you have given pie, yes, that you will get pie chart. You can explore further how this will be displayed. So as I said in the morning, there is no code block. Yes, what I can do, just click on this plus, paste this one, run this code. Yes, I can able to see this pie chart. So if you want to specify the conditionings for each and everything, that is depends on you, that is upon to you. You can do any formattings. Yes, these are all basic plottings that is present in Matplotlib library. So we have experienced what are all the basic visualization and its categories, basic libraries like sklearn, NumPy, Pandas, and Matplotlib, and all the basic functions, functional programs, recursive programs, and in morning classes we are all have discussed a basic function program. In afternoon session we have started with recursion, that is an important concept. So recursion, then you can go with the libraries of NumPy, sklearn, Pandas, and Matplotlib. So earlier we have discussed about the star pattern and how to use the common functions for converting Celsius to Fahrenheit and Fahrenheit to Celsius, and greatest of two numbers. And we have experienced this NumPy, basic NumPy. Since this is an important thing, we have explored all the possible conditions for one-dimensional array and all the possible conditions for two-dimensional array. And before that, we have seen how to format the date according to our need, how to format the strings according to our need, that is string slicing, string concatenation, string functions, and before that basic operations of arithmetic and the data types. I hope the session is clear up to given. So I have shared this material with your organizers so you can get from them. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me. So I hope it is clear for every one of you. Is it understandable? At least you can respond in chat window. Is it understandable to everyone? You can please experience these codes in your Colab library. So you can experience these codes in Colab, and if you have any doubts, you can get back to me. You can get the contact mail ID from your organizers and you can just contact me. And I thank everyone for your patient listening. I thank organizers for this opportunity. Thank you, everyone.
Participants, if you have no doubt, ma'am, shall we wind up the session now?
Yeah, yes, ma'am, sure.
Yeah, okay. I would like to thank Vani ma'am for making the session excellent, and I'd like to thank all the participants.
Thank you all.